Hello, Norristown Garden Club. This video is especially for my presentation as an addition to coming out to you and designing for you. So this little section is going to have a how-to on the plaster egg, some of my favorite books that I used as reference for flower, vegetable, and fruit. And it's also going to have some mechanics and armature making so that you can see how I did it. So this is just an addition to my presentation. Okay, so this is some of my favorite books for this presentation. And there's two by Ron Morgan, and the one is called The Center of Attention. It's a fabulous, beautiful book inside with fruit and vegetables and floral. So this is one, and the other one is In the Company of Flowers by him also. Beautiful book, great reference, and with lovely pictures inside. These are two of my favorite books. I use them all the time. So I got these on Amazon. I'm sure you can too. So this is John Whiteknight. He is a good friend of mine and also has done this wonderful book on Victorian under glass. This is definitely something that you want to take a look at. It's beautifully written and beautifully done by him. Great reference book on anything under glass, and especially fruit and flowers. You even see the front, it has that. I use this as a good reference too on design. In all kinds, it has all kinds of designs in here. So that's another one of my faves. And of course, Constance Spry, one of my favorite floral designers, really pushed the envelope in the 1930s. I'm sure a lot of you know of her. This is one of my favorite, is called The Flower Decoration. It's a small little short little book, but man, is it chock full of information and knowledge and her beliefs, the way floral arranging should go, and I love her. So that's one of hers. And also the Constance Spry Encyclopedia of Flower Arranging. As you can see, it's falling apart, but I use it a lot. I reference it a lot. Great book. And then last but not least, and it's gotta lug them, this is the Dutch and Flemish flower design books. There's two of them. They come in a set. As you see, I use this quite often. If there's anything that you need to know about Dutch or Flemish design, and I mean, they were champions in putting fruit, veg, and flowers together, this is the two books you want to use. It's beautifully written, gorgeous stuff, great reference books. So these are my favorite for this presentation. I hope this helps you at your home and with referencing design. Okay, all you need is an 18 gauge wire. The higher the gauge, the higher the number, the tougher the wire is. So 18 gauge is quite strong. We are making this mechanic. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to take your 18 gauge wire, 12 of them, 12 pieces of wire, your floral tape, and just wrap the bottom end like so. Just make it secure so that they all stay together. Just re-wrap if it comes apart, but this usually holds. Okay, just like that. And then what you want to do is bend all of the wires out in the way they lay, just like so. Super simple. All the way out. And then with a Sharpie or a heavy pen, you want to take two of them, put it in place, and then just twist
on each one. Just like so. All the way around. This adds for your base of the mechanic. It just gives it a little bit more support on each number of twos. It adds for consistency too at the bottom, just like that. It's like a flower. And that starts your structure. Take it up, sort of bend up these edges like so, and then start attaching each section to the other. Super simple, guys. This is not a hard thing to do. You create this structure very quickly. It doesn't have to be perfect because we're going to cover all of it. So remember, you don't have to be spot on size of the holes in here. Okay? Bring it all the way around. Attach it here. And do the same again. See how this is building up into like a little circle? Just like this. Same thing all the way around. Just like that. Keep on doing this, okay? Keep on doing this until you run out of wire to do it. Once you run out of wire for that fold, and or if you have it as big as you want it, okay, then just fold the ends down into the piece, just like that. And then now you can take branches or anything you want and throw it through and around, just like in my demo, which you'll see. But this is how you create that. Same thing with this. This is a little hard wire. This is like the 20 gauge. And then, of course, this is 16. And it's very floppy. I like using the 18. It's a nice thing. And then all the flowers go through here and around. So there is a mechanic that you can work with. So what you'll need to make the plaster egg is plaster of Paris. You'll need measuring cups, 1/3 and 1/2 cup. You're going to need a little paper clip, a funnel. Also, you're going to need a water bottle, just one of those plastic water bottles with the lid, with the cap, and a little stick. So those are the things, and in this video you will see a picture of all of that. And if you like to wear a mask and gloves, go right ahead. I don't, but you can. Going through the video, you'll see me opening up the plaster of Paris box and actually measuring out a 1/2 cup first and putting it in the funnel. As you do this, just be careful. I would do this in the sink so it doesn't get too messy and you can just wash it down the drain. Then you're going to see me take a skewer and actually push it through into the bottle. This helps by just getting it in the bottle quicker. I do this until it's all gone, and then I pick up the 1/3 cup that I have in the sink here, and then I do that twice, so we need 2/3 more. Once we do that and get that in and do the same process using that skewer, that stick, and pushing it down in through the funnel and getting all of that plaster of Paris into the bottle. This just adds, the funnel adds for neatness, so just work with the funnel. I tried it without and it wasn't a good sight. It takes a little time, but again, the process goes pretty quick once you do your first maybe 100. I've done 100. for a class. So there's my 5-inch balloon. I use a clear balloon, like a white balloon, so that I can see through it, because you want to see that you coat the whole inside of the balloon with the plaster of Paris. So there I did. I blew up the balloon, I twisted the balloon, and now I'm using a little clip to clip onto the balloon to maintain the air in the balloon. And then I put it aside. Then you're going to take some water, and please don't make the water hot. You want to make the water tepid, okay? You don't want hot water in this. And you're going to use 1/3 of a cup at first with a funnel. Pour that in, and then you're going to do another 1/3. So 2/3 cup, but do it in thirds. Place the cap back on the bottle and shake vigorously. You want to get all of the plaster of Paris from the bottom of the bottle all the way through, so you make a nice slurry, okay? The word of the day, slurry. Make sure that the bottom does not have any caked on plaster of Paris. Open up, take off the clip from the balloon, open up the lid from the bottle. Holding that twist, okay, you are going to, and you can see that I didn't hold the twist. I had to blow it up again. And place the lip of the balloon on the top of the bottle. Untwist it and then push all that slurry of plaster of Paris into the balloon. And as you can see, the balloon, you can see the actual plaster of Paris solution going into the balloon. That's why I like to use white balloons, because I can see through it and see where the plaster of Paris is. Twist it again, as you see, and make a knot. There you go. Now you got your shape. Now you're going to shake it up very gently, not vigorously, and move it all the way through the inside. And as you see, how you can see some of the plaster of Paris has not stuck to the one side of the balloon. You want to make it all consistent. You're going to do this for about maybe 5 minutes, moving it back and forth, to and fro, making sure all of that plaster of Paris is inside, covering the inside of that balloon. And what happens is the plaster of Paris starts heating up a little bit, and you'll feel it, and it'll start getting a little harder in your hands, which is kind of neat too. Once it gets to that consistency, and you'll feel it, and I'm pointing right there to an open spot that I saw that needs another shake so that it coats that inside. So see how I'm rolling it through my hands, back and forth, back and forth. And once you are finished with that, you can place it on the side. See how I'm rolling it? I'm feeling it as I go, because it's starting to get a little warmer and it's starting to get a little bit tighter. After that, place it down in some of a vessel. What I use is a little bowl, and I fill it with rice, and then I place a little paper towel over that rice in the bowl, and then I set the balloon upright on the rice. So this maintains that the shape of an egg. It doesn't remain flat. Don't lay it down on something flat like a table, because it'll get flat in that area. I see the rice works really well by maintaining that curvature. And leave it overnight. The next day, it is now very hard in that balloon. The plaster of Paris has adhered. It's nice and tight. It's not mushy. It is perfect. And what you want to do is you want to start by using an X-Acto or a razor blade, pulling up the little nipple on the top and creating a little area where you can slice your X-Acto knife in there, and then just work the X-Acto knife lightly under the balloon and slowly peel off the outer balloon till you get your wonderful egg. It is now hard, it's easy to hold. Now you don't want to be too rough with it. The funny thing is at the top of this is a nipple. The tie makes like this little belly button, I call it. And what you want to do is take the X-Acto knife and you want to actually just shave it down just a little bit so you don't see that. And then after that, let it dry until it turns white, because this is going to be gray. I was very nervous when I first did this. I was like, I don't want gray eggs. I want white eggs. Let it sit for a couple more hours and it'll start turning that beautiful white that you want to see and that you saw in the presentation.